you ready?
Well. Hello, Buccaneers fans. How we all doing tonight? Was that good enough to stop the complaining? 38-3. 38-3. Cheer up. You could be a Chiefs fan. Look, guys. It's good to be a Bucs fan. It's good to be a Bucs fan. They are 6-1, 6-1, 6-1. Remember last year? Remember the Bears game last year? Take a look at me now. Feels a whole lot different, doesn't it? I think revenge was had. I think I think that that the exorcism of that fourth down question Brady thing. How many touchdowns he threw in the first half? Guys, look, it's good to be a Bucs fan. It just is. It is. When you're finding things to complain about right now, you're silly. Okay. I mean, well, we didn't score enough in the second half. We really weren't trying. We were just trying to get the game over with and make sure they didn't get back into it. I mean, we really weren't trying. Is there anything to complain about? I got one thing. Ronald Jones on the goal line. I got nothing else to complain about at all.
Hey, Suckup missed a 43-yarder. It makes me anxious.
Okay, I am your host, Rick Hughes. And I am here with my partner in crime, the lovely, the talented Mr. David White-Scarver. How you doing, brother?
I'm having a ball. I mean, it's like what record did Brady break this week? The game's a blowout. This is just fun. This is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers I grew up with. They're 6-1 for the first time in the history of the franchise, dating back to 1976. This is a blast.
It's crazy. This is not the Tampa Bay Buccaneers we grew up with, Dave.
No, it's not. It might have had the sign out front that said Tampa Bay Buccaneers, but it in no way resembles what we grew up with.
At all. It's fun, guys. This is as good as it gets. Enjoy every little minute of this. I mean, my biggest thing, I was nervous that they had Brady in that long in the game at halftime. I'm like, don't even bring him out at halftime. Just don't even bring him out. Please, 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 dear God, do not let this guy get out there. They played the team with the most sacks of any other team in the league, and they didn't even come close. They really didn't even come close. I mean, Brady was clean the whole night. The offensive line, kudos. Everybody. Talk about what a great job Donovan Smith and company did, because they all did a great job today. Khalil Mack, nowhere to be found. I mean, this was beautiful. There's nothing about this game that wasn't just absolutely phenomenal. When you finish a game 38-3, and it wasn't that close, when it could have been a lot worse. I mean, this was fun. This is a dream. This was just a dream for all of us, I think, to actually, starting with the first drive. I mean, I literally had my feet kicked back. I had a bowl of soup, drinking some hot tea, feet are up on the coffee table, just enjoying the game, feeling no stress. I mean, the only drama of the entire night was, will Brady get that 600th touchdown ball back from the guy in the stands? That's as close to drama as we had, guys. That was it.
Actually, he did. I wonder what was negotiated, but that was like the only drama throughout the entire game.
Yeah, apparently one of the Bucs staff reported to the television broadcast that another game ball and a signed jersey is what was negotiated. Now, I'm in agreement with Tony Romo that guy needs a better agent, because he could have gotten a lot more than that. He could have gotten a lot more than that. He could have said, I'll tell you what, I want the ball. I mean, I want a game ball. I want Brady shoes. You know what you can do? Give me a signed game worn Brady jersey from any other game. That's fine.
Well,
Season tickets for life.
and most of all, a drink with the cool uncle Bruce Arians.
Well, yeah.
That's his
I would
goal,
have
is to be
agreed.
the
I would
cool
have gone
uncle.
more the
So
Tony Romo angle and said a date with Giselle, dinner with Giselle somewhere. That might have worked as well. You might have had my, okay, I'm in. But yeah, I mean, it was a complete beatdown. It was completely just not close. There was nothing about this game that was close. There was nothing that made this, iffy. There was nothing that made this maybe not. I don't know. I mean, it was from Jump Street a blowout, and it's good.
we even had a Ronald Jones sighting, and he looked like a backup running back who's tired of being a backup running back.
And until they got to the goal line, in which case he couldn't do anything again. Yeah, he's just don't even. Can we all please say Ronald Jones is very good as a number 2 back? And let's leave him there. He's a good to have number 2 back. Leonard Fournette was awesome today. He was fantastic. Again, 3rd game in a row. He is regular season Lenny. And I'm perfectly happy to have him as our running back. Guys, this team's clicking on all cylinders. I'm talking in every way, on offense, on defense. The bad news, doggone it, D. Delaney got hurt. Are you kidding me? D. Delaney got hurt. I mean, he's already the backup to the backup to the backup to the backup. And the guy that we replaced him with is already out injured.
Jamel Dean got hurt as well. So it just seems to be every game, it's the defensive backs get dinged up even more.
I mean, they're just getting killed. The DBs are just they're just getting killed. 6-1. 6-1.
First time in history of the franchise.
And this many injuries. Stop and think about that. This team is really good. Now, if anybody says it was only the Bears, who'd you want them to beat this week? I mean, what? They didn't beat them by enough? I mean, come on. Guys, everything... There is absolutely nothing you can complain about. Nothing. All right. There really isn't. There just isn't. Dave, what's your overall take on the game?
It was a blowout.
Good talk.
All right.
No. Just in general, though. I mean, what are your thoughts about the whole thing?
Well, I mean, there's been times when the defense came out a bit flat. They came out ready to play. They played with purpose. They had 5 turnovers. It was up. Anything that has been even remotely a concern, it was not today. The offense came out firing on all cylinders. Ronald Jones ran the ball well until he got to the goal line, like you said. It was a complete domination on offense and on defense as well. Justin Fields had somebody in his face all day. I was wondering when Nagy is going to take him out, because he was just a beatdown. I mean, I know you get reps and you get experience, but I mean, you don't want a first-year quarterback getting crushed. Yeah. But just spread the ball around. Touchdown for Evans, touchdown for Nat. It was just, I mean, I was the only thing. If I was a Bear fan, I'm like, what are you doing to Fields?
Well, it was just brutal. This was a bad matchup. Yeah, this was a bad matchup for them from the get-go, because basically they're just a running team, and let's give them props. They did the best job running against the Bucs that we've seen in a very long time.
They had a 29-yard run. That's the most the Bucs gave up. I mean, that's kind of one of the few highlights that the Bears had.
How many yards rushing did they have, though?
The Bears had 143 yards rushing. Khalil Herbert had 100.
A lot of yards rushing against the Bucs. I mean, that's not even close.
Yeah, if you really want to look hard.
Yeah. Well, no, that's the most in years that the Bucs have given up, and other teams are going to try and do the same thing. So we have to understand that now other teams are going to try to run against the Bucs.
Right.
So I think that changed other teams' game plans, which will shorten up games. I mean, which
What's
means
good
we'll get
for
out
us on a
earlier,
Thursday
Dave.
or Sunday night.
Yeah. But, yeah, guys, this was this. We're digging hard trying to find something to be critical about. It's just really hard from the get go. Look, Dave and I usually go first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter. Here it was. We kicked their butt. That's the first quarter. We kicked their butt. That's the second quarter. We kicked their butt. That's the third quarter.
Nobody scored in the third quarter, but
we still kicked their butt. And we kicked their butt in the fourth quarter. There's your game wrap up. Okay. I mean, it was brutal. It was beautiful. It was wonderful. It was fantastic. It was everything we've dreamed of. We've wanted a game like this. I want anybody who's been a Bucs fan for years and years, those of you who have been a Bucs fan for years, please do me a favor in the chat section. Now, first of all, I want to ask you guys, please like and subscribe to our chats. I mean, to what you're looking at. If you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe. If you're watching on Twitter, like this, whatever you do, retweet it, get it out there. And if you're on Facebook, please like this and share it. But for those of you who have been Bucs fans for a very long time, I've got a question for you guys, and I want you to put the answer in chat. Do you remember a game, any game, or what is the last game you remember that was this kind of a blowout? I mean, I don't think points-wise this is the biggest blowout in Bucs history, but this really was just absolutely it was amazing. I mean, this was a beatdown from the get-go. I mean, their offense was terrible. Everybody who always says, "Oh no, the Bucs suck against rookie quarterbacks," not anymore. Tom Brady has not lost to a rookie quarterback in, I believe it's 8-9 years, something like that. Geno Smith was the last rookie quarterback that Tom Brady lost to. So those of you who are there, William Ronald. Oh, I can't pronounce your name, buddy. I think you're talking about a blowout in the other direction when you're talking about Pittsburgh. I was at that game, and that was a horrifying blowout. I'm talking in a good way. The Lions game last year. Rich, I don't remember what the score was in that game. I do remember, yes, it was a blowout. It was at the end
47-7.
Yeah.
That was what I was thinking of as well.
Okay. All right.
Day after Christmas.
That's fair. I do remember that game, the entire game being nothing close at all. And it was just, wasn't it like half their offense was out because of COVID or something else? Something like that happened. Their coaching staff was gone. I don't remember what it was.
It's the Lions. That's all you need to know.
Yep. Yeah. And let's do this real quick. Let's take a quick run around the NFC South. We don't know about New Orleans because of tomorrow, Dave, but you want to talk about the rest of the NFC South today? Because the Bucs going into today, the Bucs had a 2-game lead on, was it Carolina?
The Carolina was 3-3 going into today. The wheels have officially come off in Carolina. They got spanked in New York by the New York Football Giants, 25-3. Sam Darnold, 16 of 25, 111 yards, no touchdowns, obviously, 1 interception. The total yards, Giants 302, Panthers 173. Carolina drops to 3-4. They're at the bottom of the division, and they are now on a 4-game losing streak. Christian McCaffrey still out, which certainly doesn't help, but things have just gone extremely south in Carolina. Atlanta traveled to Miami, and Younghoe Koo kicked a game-winning field goal as time expired to give the Falcons a 30-28 victory in Miami Gardens. Mike Ryan was 25 of 40, 336 yards, 2 touchdowns, and interception. Kyle Pitts continues to impress. He had 8 targets, 7 receptions, and 163 yards. Cordell Patterson's become Mr. Everything for the Falcons. He had 14 rushes, 60 yards, a touchdown, and 2 receptions. Falcons are up to 3-3. It's their 2nd win in a row and have won 3 out of 4. And as you mentioned, the 3-2 New Orleans Saints travel to Seattle to take on the 2-4 Falcons. It's a Monday night game of 2020 division winners that don't look like they're going to be division winners at all this year. Yeah. Saints are a 5-point road favorite, but remember Russell Wilson's out and Geno Smith is under center for the Seahawks. And Russell Wilson is expected to get the pin out of his finger within a week. But the Falcons are 3-3. The Panthers are 3-4, and at best, the Saints could be 4-2 if they win tomorrow night. So that's the way the division's shaken out.
Yeah, the Bucs have at least a 2-game lead. If the Saints lose tomorrow, it's a 3-game lead in the division. Heading into next week, and guess who the Bucs play next week?
The Nolan Saints.
Guess who's coming to town next week? Guess what quarterback the Bucs are going to face next week? I can tell you this. Bucs Report and like these shows are going to be a ball all week long. This is going to be fun. The Jameis people are going to be crawling out of the woodwork. Here we go. Strap up and get ready, guys, because especially if they win tomorrow night and it'll get all of the Jameis folks talking. Get ready for a lot of fun talk this week because I get the feeling it's going to be crazy. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be a fun week. Mike Evans went off. Mike Evans had a great game. Phenomenal. He had a hat trick, I believe, in the first half with 3 touchdowns. Tried to get him a 4th. Yeah, Evans had a game. So for everybody talking, where's Mike Evans? He's on pace for 1,000 yards again, everybody. So, and he was still Mike Evans doing Mike Evans thing. What is Mike Evans known for other than catching passes and touchdowns? Always acting hurt, always complaining to the refs, always being Mike Evans. He's always being Mike Evans,
And giving away 600 touchdown balls.
Yeah, he's giving away.
It was that one? Oh.
I gave away that ball. So that was pretty funny. But Mike Evans had a great game. You gotta give that guy props. He was as always fantastic. Mike Evans is always fantastic.
Half his receptions were touchdowns. He had 6 receptions. He had 3 touchdowns.
Yeah,
that's a good rate.
Yeah, you're doing all right. When, so yeah, that was that was awesome. I'm very, very, very excited to see how that's all playing itself out. Player of the game, Dave.
Player of the game. Well,
what you got?
I gotta go
I'll give it to Fournette.
I'm gonna go with Tom Brady. He got a 600 touchdown pass, and he's just the guy. I mean, we take it for granted what he does. I mean, as great a game as Evans had, Godwin had more receptions and yards, and only 1 touchdown.
By the way, you know what, Dave? You make a good point. I want to say something. I've caught some flack from some of the Bucs Report staff and from some of the folks who are regulars here about the fact that I'm always gushing about Tom Brady. I want to talk about how important a quarterback is and how you guys don't realize just how good Tom Brady is if you think I'm crazy and just overly give him credit. No, I'm not. Listen. The Bucs The Bucs have this record because of Tom Brady. I know they got other people. I understand that. But they've got this record because of Tom Brady. All right? Don't make any mistakes about that. For anybody who thinks quarterbacks aren't that big of a deal, tell that to the Cincinnati Bengals, who are now the number 1 seed in the AFC. Think Joe Burrow didn't make a difference? Tom Brady is the reason that the Bucs have the best record they've ever had, ever in the history of the franchise, ever. When you have the best quarterback that's ever played, playing better than he ever has, what do you expect? What do you think? So am I giving too much credit to Tom Brady? No, listen, man, this is a team so full of great players. Leonard Fournette's the man. He's been playing great. Mike Evans, the man. Look at what he did today. Somebody's going to say we're not using Chris Godwin enough because he didn't have a big game today. He's been the most targeted. He's been the most targeted receiver.
He had 8 receptions, 111 yards. He was ahead of Mike Evans in every category except touchdown.
Did he really?
Yeah. He had more targets. Godwin had 11. Mike Evans had 10.
So they were
Godwin
both
had 8
over 100
receptions.
yards. Over 100 yards.
Yeah, he was the only receiver over 100. So, I mean,
you just said Evans was over 100.
No. Evans was 6 for 76 with 3 touchdowns.
Got it.
But Godwin was 8 for 111 and only 1 touchdown.
So they're both still on track for a 1,000-yard season. And to me, guys, this is so funny to me that everybody who I see people complain this guy's not getting, one game where, look, every week's going to look different. I've been saying this since before the season started. Every week's going to look kind of different. This is why it's really hard. If you're into fantasy football, don't take Bucs. Okay.
Don't do it.
Because 1 week it's Godwin, 1 week it's Evans, 1 week it's Brown, 1 week it's Fournette. I mean, 1 week the defense is doing it all, and you've got a kicker who's kicking 5 field goals and you score a couple touchdowns. I mean, there's something different every week. And Brate catches a couple, OJ Howard, whatever. I mean, you just don't know. Gronk, you have no idea.
When he's healthy, Bernard coming out of the backfield. I mean,
yeah. So you cannot sit there and get on the fact that one game, one guy doesn't get as much as another guy, or this guy's getting more this year. Look, if there's
but going back,
Tom Brady's going to take what you give him. And when you've got this many great players, for everybody says, well, this team should be better. They're 6-1. They're 6-1, and they've got that many injuries. Guys, we got a lot to be happy about.
Well, it goes beyond just playing the quarterback position for Tom Brady. Antonio Brown would not be here if it wasn't for Tom Brady. Rob Gronkowski wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Tom Brady.
Right.
And that's before you even start getting into the leadership issues that you can see throughout the entire organization, not just the football operations, but the entire organization. So I have no problem looking at the stat sheet and realizing he's got a 600 touchdown and go, Tom Brady, you're my player of the game.
Yeah, well, I'll give you that. I'm going to go with Fournette just because, I mean, I just think there was this weird, every time he had the ball, I don't know what causes him to suddenly, some games, and there's been like 3 in a row, he has this drive where you got 6 guys hanging on him. He's just not going down. He's getting 2 or 3 extra yards on every run. That's what we've been getting out of Fournette. And I just think today he was spectacular. So was Brady. Listen, man, it was 38-3. Everybody deserves player of the game. I mean, they're defensive players you gotta give player of the game to. I mean, Shaq Barrett had a big game. There were so many. I mean, Tristan Wirfs. Hans Gruber just said Tristan Wirfs is a grown-ass man. Yeah, he is. He is. I mean, there's so many good players on this team that you just can't point your finger in one. Think about what the offensive line did. You almost should give them player of the game. I mean, one penalty for the Bucs today, Johnny Dean brought up. One penalty for the Bucs. Does anybody know who that was on? Aaron Stinney came in for a play, was playing on the offensive line, and Aaron Stinney got called for the penalty. I mean, this is exactly what happened last year, starting earlier. This is the same thing that happened last year. It takes a little while, and then here we go.
I mean, we had him so frustrated. Defensive tackle Bilal Nichols of the Bears threw a punch at one of our players and got thrown out of the game. I mean,
we got a Bears fan who wrote. So a Bears fan in here. A Bears fan says, from a Bears fan, thanks. Hopefully you guys will have caused Nagy to get fired. Well, I think Nagy may have caused Nagy to get fired. That was pretty bad. Yeah,
he's in his 4th season, isn't he? I mean,
yeah. The Bears just aren't going anywhere. And every year I hear before the season starts, oh, the Bears, they're pretty good. Oh, the Bears. Never seems to happen. So I don't know. I do think it's time.
Well, they like to run the ball, and they're running a sixth round draft pick out of Virginia Tech he's the only guy left standing basically as a running back. So, yeah. I mean, they've been decimated at running back like we have a defensive back, and that's what they like to do, run the ball. And you got a young quarterback who, well, he's a rookie.
So they really did. They had a great day running the ball, but when you're down by 30, who cares?
Yeah.
William says he was talking about White here. Carl Hardy said White was all over the field today, and William said he was a beast. Yeah. Johnny, I'm not sure what you're talking about. Ryan Jensen, maybe you were talking about him being player of the game. Yeah, he was awesome today. And to see him take that punch
or maybe
yeah,
that's he's referring to the punch. Who got punched?
Can you believe Ryan Jensen played it cool? That's new.
Well, he was instigating. Let's face it.
I understand that, but he played it cool. That's new. Wow, yeah. Justin Fields wanted to demand a trade today. Yeah, probably. I think that guy was. I honestly think Fields had to be back there like Sam Darnold. I'm seeing ghosts. I mean, he had to feel that way. And Pantera, the Bears fan, again says your defense blew our O-line up. Yeah, we had that was our best game, guys, all around.
Well, it was consistent throughout. Nobody came out flat. It was just all guns blazing from the beginning was what you want.
Yeah, you get the feeling that this team is hitting its stride again. It happened last year. This is exactly what happened last year. We struggled at the very beginning, lost a game to the Rams, struggled a little bit, needed to start clicking. Everybody all the cylinders, all the gears needed to connect and lock. And you just get that feeling that's what's happening. So, I don't know. Stephen Glasgow says something I absolutely have to agree with. Not sure why the coaches keep trying that Rojo on the goal line play when it just never works. You're right, Stephen. It just never works, and they just keep trying. I don't know why. I don't know why. I mean, I don't know if they're just trying to get him a touchdown to spread the wealth. I don't know what they're doing, but it just doesn't. It does not work. It's bad. It's very, very bad. Yeah, I'm a little bit terrified as to the outcome of. Keyshawn Vaughn. Guys, I'm getting to the point where I want to see a little more of him. Or Giovanni Bernard. Let's see more of him. Let's get some of these guys a little more action. Rojo, yeah, he flashed, but
he did until he got to the goal. He ran hard.
What's that?
He ran hard. He looked like a guy. Did. He ran hard. I mean, to the goal line, but which kind of counts more than the others. But he ran hard.
He ran hard. Great. I mean, okay, he ran hard.
Well, he hasn't been.
Well, obviously the offensive line was dominating and opening up holes, and Rojo was making it through those holes and was getting some yards. And now that's absolutely true. But I just get the feeling it's time to we've got Fournette. Let's start looking behind Rojo. At least that's what I think. Now there's another guy that I'm very much looking forward to getting his opinion here on what he thinks about all the shenanigans from tonight's game. I'm excited to bring in the best of the Bay, the one, the only, Ray Kennedy. How you doing, my friend?
I'm good. Hold on one second, Rick. I got your Bears right here. Go ahead. No, I'm kidding. No, right. The Bears, right? I mean, guys, we
talked about. You better be careful.
Did Brady got his revenge, though? Didn't he, Dave? Didn't he, Rick? I mean, he got that revenge he talks about last year.
Yeah.
He notices.
Yeah.
He notices when number 600 goes into the stands. That's for sure. The whole world noticed for about 30 seconds there.
That was the drama of the game. It was like, is he going to get his ball back?
The look on Evan's face was hilarious. Oh,
yes.
That was 600. Oh,
and the first thing I'm thinking, okay, it's not number 71. It wasn't Sammy Sosa. It's not number 72, Mark McGuire. It's not 7 or these famous balls throughout history. I can't believe I said that so early on
famous
Sunday.
Balls all over the place.
But he's going to get it back. I think the only drama, Dave, like you said, it was the drama of the day, and the drama is tomorrow morning. Every newspaper, hopefully here on Bucs Report, will have the front headline of the number one story. It won't be the Bucs defeat the Bears 38-3 or go away with a big victory. It'll be what did that guy get to give number 600 back?
Well, they said it on TV. They said, I guess the Bucs told the broadcast that he got another game ball and a signed jersey.
be it by the entire Super Bowl 55 and or 56 team. Maybe.
Well,
I mean, hey, I can see that.
What Tony Romo said. He should have asked for $1 million in a date with Giselle. I mean, he probably could have gotten it. So,
sad thing is, Dave, if it comes down to $1 million or a date with Giselle, I'm on the fence here, guys. Help me out.
I'm taking the money.
Give me the money, and there'll be a line outside the door. So
I know what my wife's going to tell me I got to take.
I'm taking the money.
You guys are talking
really, really, really nice new home all for yourself with $1 million. So
yeah, and then I can still have enough money to go buy a couple of Tom Brady's balls. But you guys are talking about player of the game, and you guys are not right with Fournette. And I even thought maybe in the third quarter, if Mike Evans was in line for 5 touchdowns and Brady by association throws him, that I thought that you'd see the NFL possibly make them the co-offensive players of the week.
Yeah.
Both from the same squad. Need one to get one. Need the other one to get one. But I tell you what, my game ball is going to go to that defensive line and the pressure they put on today. Yeah. That was the team that we saw last in 55. We saw them again today, and that gives us hope that the rest of the season we're going to see them at the right times as we make that march for number 2.
Didn't you feel like it, Ray? Like this was all of a sudden the coming out party of, okay, here we go. It was like that Atlanta game last year where all of a sudden the light switch flips, and now here we go. And that's the feeling I get. Look, if we can navigate through next game against the Saints, just get through it. Have the bye week, start to get healthy.
Yes.
Get some players back, and then look out for the rest of the season. That second half of the season, just look out because they're 6-1 with this many injuries.
The best start ever.
DB.
Ever, and you've got all these banged up guys on the defense. It's just insane. It's fun.
It is.
Did the Arizona Cardinals get beat by the Texans today? I really don't know. I haven't seen. No. Probably not. Did the Packers?
No, it wasn't even close last I saw.
Did the Packers get beat by the Washington football team?
Hold on, I'll pull up the scores.
Yeah, thank you. Because Rick, what I'm saying is my point I'm making while you're looking at those scores up, that I named those 3 teams: the Rams, the Cardinals, and the Packers, all 5-1, 5-1. Of course, the Cardinals undefeated. And that was the point I made earlier today on my Cup of Ray this morning, is that the reason why this was a must-game win is to stay in contention for that home field throughout and or to host that championship game. So
the Cardinals squeaked one out, 31-5.
The Packers won 24-10, and the Rams didn't look good, but they beat the Lions 28-19. So everybody won.
So with the Bucs staying at 6-1 now, they're right there with the still 6-1 Rams. We're right there with the 6-1 Packers, and we're just behind a half a game by the Cardinals, who I believe in. I'm impressed with that team, that Keim team. Put Keim and owner Bidwell there. We saw it when Arians was coach out there, and Bowles and Leftwich, the teams they were putting together. They can build a good roster, but to me, they're still a paper champion, because when it comes to when rubber hits the road, you go up against these Buccaneers who are staying right up there in that talk for that number 1 NFC spot. I still think that's the best team in the NFC, if not the NFL.
Yeah, I think that's going to be epic. Honestly, while the Bengals have the number 1 seed in the AFC, I'm just not afraid of them like I would be the Cardinals. I am far more concerned about some NFC teams. I mean, when you get through the NFC, I feel like the AFC, all right, we got this. But the NFC is like last year. The NFC looks tough. And guys, please, no more baby goat talk.
No, Jesus.
He's more, in my eyes, he has a far greater chance to be a baby Marino. Okay? I mean, although he did get 1 Super Bowl. Right? But I think there's a far greater chance we've seen his peak already. And that, now he's got to go and have a regular career the rest of the way where he struggles and he's just flashy quarterback on a bad team. I mean, I think that's what you're looking at.
How things have changed.
Yeah, let's just stop calling him baby goat, because I mean
I hope he sends his agent a really good Christmas present.
Hey, because that hype
it's deserved.
That hype machine was growing 7 days a week, 24/7, 365. Kid's phenomenal player. Goes into a great situation with Andy Reid backing up Alex Smith. and learns an offense for a year and a quarter. Wasn't that bad. It wasn't a bad player in college, kind of reminding you a lot maybe of a Zach Wilson there with the Jets, or maybe even a player like we saw today in Travis Fields. But goes to a perfect situation. Andy Reid had that track record of offensive success, gets to learn behind Alex Smith, no pressure, gets right in. Kid's a phenomenal player. You start paying him $40 million a year, he starts losing some of his other toys that he needed to get up there to have that big contract. And you start seeing that when, like, I hate to use the term twice, but when rubber meets the road, really what kind of metal a quarterback's made out of. He's rolling okay, keeping it lighthearted, but you can still see it sometimes, especially in Super Bowl 55. He had that fear in his eyes.
Yeah, Johnny Dean said, whoop, I just lost it. There. Oh, doggone it, I lost it. Derrick Henry threw more TD passes than Mahomes did today. And Willow says, did we completely crush the Chiefs by destroying them in the Super Bowl? Yes, and I believe that's a fact, that what happened in the Super Bowl is very similar to what happened to the Falcons when they lost that, when they were ahead 28-3 and lost the Super Bowl. I think you crush a team's there's a different kind of confidence, that arrogance that nobody can do this to us. And then all of a sudden you realize, oh crap, we got embarrassed.
I wouldn't even say the Niners when they had Colin Kaepernick, because after they lost that game, he was never the same, and they were never the same. But I mean, it can turn on a dime. It really can.
Can I make this point though, guys, if you don't mind? The reason why the Bucs had the unquestioned success in Super Bowl 55, because the Chiefs lose both their left and right tackle going into that game. The problem is also there's other little things along. There's chinks in the armor. You've got a Tyreek Hill who refuses to accept a new contract to make it team friendly, to have a little more extra money. But they bring in an all-pro left tackle and a great right tackle, big free agents in the offseason, and everybody's thinking, well, you can just plug and play 2 all-pro offensive tackles into a new line and learn a new system and hit the ground running. And at the end of the day, basically, when people are saying that other teams have gotten the recipe for how to beat those Chiefs, they're basically copying the fact that the Buccaneers use the outside pressure to open it up inside, and that's how you get the Tyreek Hill, somewhat the same way you would try to get to a Tom Brady.
Yeah, and let's be honest, the Bucs copied what the Raiders did. I mean, that's where the Bucs got it. The Bucs just did it better than the Raiders did. Oh, yeah. But the Bucs got that game plan from the Raiders, and the Raiders gave the Chiefs fits last year, and then the Bucs came in better at it, but did the same thing. And now everybody's doing it, and you're seeing the Chiefs team that's in just a whole different. It just wow. I mean, they're guys.
No, 27-3. They lost in Tennessee.
You've got to start wondering. They not just stop saying are they going to make the Super Bowl? They're probably not making the playoffs.
Hey, Rick, bad. Is it time for me to get my negative in for the game? Because we always have to work a negative.
In. You got to try because this one's hard.
Okay, but you guys are going to agree with me. I 100% guarantee. I got a $5 bet that Dave, you and Rick will both agree with me on this. Even if we're not up 35 points, but if we're up 35 points, especially, and we're facing a 4th and 1, if not a 4th and 1 earlier in the game, instead of trying to go in there and run some type of stupid delayed dive that usually loses 3 yards because every team gets penetration, and because we know we're not going to have Tom Brady diving for a first down when we're up 35-3 in the 4th quarter, why do these? Go in there, guys. Just impress me. They impressed me so many fronts today, the Buccaneers did. But go in there and show me you know how to put a 12 personnel in or a jumbo package and cram the ball for. I don't care about not making a first down.
Why did we not run the play where we run Vita Vea as fullback? We've done that so many times.
Do you not both agree with me that 3 times today we saw the Buccaneers on a 4th or 3rd and 1 and 4th and 1, and they go in and it looks like they're a little lost. Brady tries to turn it to Rojo, and Rojo gets lost for 2 yards on 2 out of 3 plays, and it looks like this team does not know how to run a tight dive.
Here's the problem. Play. Rojo is not the guy to be doing that.
No, you need to have Fournette in there.
Yeah. He's just not. I mean,
it's a touchdown if Fournette runs.
Guy in there running that. I mean, it's Johnny Dean texted me and messaged me during the game, and he was absolutely correct. Or he said Rojo is just useless on the goal line, and he's correct.
Yeah, because he's looking for that first. He's looking for the first slant to get to the second level, whereas Leonard Fournette's just looking to make that dive, and the defense knows that, and they seem to go back a half beat, which gives them that advantage. But again, not a bad thing to say about this game today. Everybody looked and did their jobs, guys. But when it came to those 3rd or 4th and 1s. This team just looks like, we're not going to let Tom call this play. Well, what are we going to do? Let's just run a dive. It doesn't work. Loss of 3. I don't mind. We still win the game by so many points. It's just you want to get every facet of the game clicking right as you make that advance toward your second consecutive Lombardi and third overall in team history. And these are just, we're always going to have to quit because the coaches want to quip on the bad things. They don't want to get big head on the good stuff. This is the kind of thing the Buccaneers can work on. Work on that short game where you bring Vea in, run a jumbo package, run a 12, 13, run a 17 personnel, but learn how to just do a dive, not a delay, and lose yards.
Yeah, I mean, we've run it. I don't know how many times where you bring Vita Vea and he crushes. He just basically crushes everyone in front of him and clears out a spot. I mean, it really, really seriously. I don't get that play calling. Every once in a while, I get the feeling that Bucs fourth down play calling is just something that,
like I say, it's like
good
they go
at everything else.
Yeah. Oh, this is the one Tom doesn't. Because guys, and here's the point. I happen to jump in my car, and I hate to say that because I'm over here at the Irish 31 tonight, having a great time watching the game, and I wanted to get home. I had to get a bag of food from Aldi from Ruth because they sell this no grain dog food at Aldi. I'm doing promotions for it. Who have I not? T-Mobile over it. No, I'm just kidding. But so I jump in the car. I'm listening to it when the Buccaneers do that. Excuse me, in the fourth quarter where it's 4th and 1, and then they run that dive again for the second time of the day. They lose 2 yards, and Dave Moore on WDAE made a great point. He said last year and this year, 9 times out of 10, when the Buccaneers have ran that short yardage, half-yard dive, it's Tom Brady on a sneak. But when you're up 35 points in the fourth quarter on a game you got locked, you're not going to let your franchise sneak it. Yeah. So just all I'm asking is have a plan, guys, that when we get to that point, we're up 40.
Well,
we need a one.
Though. But Ray, they've done it where they used Vea as in the jumbo.
Oh, yeah, they have. You're right.
They have the plan.
Not in the last 3 games.
I just don't know what they were thinking. Yeah, last week on what was it? It was 4th and 3 or something, or
he chucked it down the field. Yeah,
it was
they
low
chance
20-yard pass. I mean, and it was not even a high percentage pass. I mean, there's at some point. Now, having said that, do you guys realize how hard it is to find something to complain about?
Yeah, isn't it great? Isn't it great?
This is a blast. Cow. I mean, I don't remember ever feeling like this, even after winning the Super Bowl before. I mean, this is just like, we're the team. Well, I'm thinking here when we were talking about, who are we afraid of? I'm like, we're not afraid of anybody. They need to be afraid of us. It's not. We're the Super Bowl favorites as far as I'm concerned. We got to goof up for someone else to win
right now. If we replayed that game, if we played the Rams again right now, I'm going into that game, I did not feel good about the Bucs. If we were going to play the Rams next week, I'd feel okay. I mean, I really would.
Let me tell you why I didn't feel good about that game, because so much was on the line for the Rams. No fans in SoFi last year. It's a $5 billion facility, Hollywood Park. This is a stadium. Yeah. They're literally fighting with the Chargers now because one of them is going to be the big dog that gets to pee on everything around the stadium. The other one has to pee in a corner where it's taught to. But the Rams had to win that game. So going in, you're right, Rick. I didn't trust it either, but I knew the Rams needed a big win in front of a full house in a $5 billion stadium for their owner. And then they came out and they showed up, and their team is a decent team. But if that game gets played at Raymond James Stadium today, the Bucs win it 7 out of 10 times. I guarantee that.
Yeah.
Now, I think it's more if you've got everybody healthy.
Yeah. Next week, the Bucs are back on the road playing the Saints. On the road.
Big test.
I'm glad. Let's get that over with. Yeah. I don't know if you guys are all aware, but their quarterback is,
don't say it. You got to say it, Rick. You got it.
Jameis. It is. It's Jameis Winston. It's time, guys. We can.
Well, he handles pressure well.
Are you ready for this? All of you guys who say stop talking about him because he's no longer our quarterback, I get to talk about him this week.
There you go.
We're playing against him. So, guys, suck it up, Buttercup. You don't want to hear about him? You're going to have to all week long.
The honeymoon is over. The gloves have come off. We gave him a honeymoon year because he was backing up Drew. He was crying because he was in the right room behind the right guy, learning the right. And guys, give him credit. He's cutting down on his mistakes when he gets time. But you pressure him and make him to make those reads. He still makes those same old JW mistakes. But this is the reason why I said it's a big test is because last year the Saints handled us twice during the regular season. We closed the books in the postseason, but now playing again, especially since they're the team behind us in our NFC South that are going to be giving us the most. First of all, let's win our division. Then we win our conference. Then we win the Super Bowl. But we have to beat the Saints just to get those 2 losses from last year off us, because don't forget, they're going to put together a defensive package that Sean Payton's teams always seem to do, and Sean Payton's going to run Jameis and Taysom Hill and try to take every advantage he can from the Bucs. So if they can get over this high from today, which I hope they can by Tuesday, Get the business. Go after number 2.
Now, everybody who has been, do you remember, Ray, in the offseason? Do you remember the talk that we had on Bucs Report, where people kept saying, "Watch the Jets this year, man. Watch the Jets. They may have a winning record. Watch the Jets." Do you remember those conversations?
I do. And
yeah.
I don't.
The Jets are the Jets, guys. They got beat by the Patriots 54-13 today.
Hey, are the Patriots for real? Huh? They put up 54.
They are for real. They really are 3-4.
Hey,
I mean,
let me play a game with you, Rick. I'm sorry to cut you off, but I want to ask this before I forget about it, because I wanted to lead with this. Yeah. Dave, you first, then Rick. If the Bucs didn't pull their foot off that gas pedal today, let's just try to guess. Let's say the Bears don't score the 3. They only scored a 3 because they weren't going to score anymore no matter what. What could the Bucs have put on the board had they not pulled the foot off the gas and even put Blaine Gabbert in, but let them continue to run that one offense? What do you think the score would have been, Dave?
I could put a 50 burger up there.
Oh, yeah. Without a doubt, right?
I mean, they were only 12 points away from that. I mean, they would have put a 50 burger up for sure.
Well,
if they did not take their foot off the gas, 3 more touchdowns.
Go ahead.
The Bears didn't have Robert Quinn, and he's second in the team with tackles for loss and sacks, right on the heels of Khalil Mack. So him being out with COVID means you can single out Khalil Mack, and you don't have somebody else who can make plays. Dave. So I think that was huge, that the Bears they didn't have a chance, but they had less than a chance with him out.
Dave, our defensive backs, we're on like our 7th cornerback right now, or 8th cornerback.
No,
we're literally, it's the guy that we brought in to cover. He's injured. The guy behind him is injured.
Fields was running for his life. That makes you a much better defensive back.
But did you guys not see the guy that gave the football, number 600 back? He was playing free safety there in the last drive.
My God.
I was just kidding.
That's what he finagled out of it.
That's what has to do with that. I want
to be on the field for a play, man, with a uniform.
And the funny thing is, today's the kind of game that the Buccaneers, they could have called Jason Light up in the box, and he'd have looked over at Brian Glazier, and Brian would have went, you know what, go ahead. We're up 35. It could be 70. Let's do this. And I say 70 because the Bucs were up 35 at halftime, and they were cruising. There's no reason, and I don't want to see it. No one wants to see a team get run down. The Bears are building.
If they just went ahead, balls to the wall, and went for it,
70-3. It would have been 70-3. It would have been a classic Alabama versus Appalachia State game.
It certainly. I said 3 more touchdowns. That would make that would have been right 59-3. I mean, that's how bad it would have been. It was. I feel like, gosh, it's just like the Detroit game last year, where there's nothing. There was just no. I mean. When they drove down, I mean, before I knew what was happening, there were like 3 plays and the Bucs were about to score. Yeah. The Bucs, I mean, they stopped. There was a 3 and out when they had the ball. The Bucs got the ball. 3 plays later, all of a sudden they're about to score. And I'm like, what? How'd we get down there that fast? And then boom. Okay. We're in for the touchdown. All right, that was easy. But I know how many games there are when you go down and score your first, the first drive, and then you struggle the rest of the way. So I was like, all right, let's just wait and see what happens. And the exact same thing happened again.
You know what my biggest disappointment was today?
What's that?
It was a huge one. That because we forced so many turnovers with that defensive pressure up front and had Fields throwing and fumbling and throwing and fumbling, my only disappointment is that we didn't stop them more on 3 and outs and had them punt, because after that 43-yard return in the first quarter by Jalen Darden, rookie receiver out of East Texas, if they'd have punted to him 3 more times today, it would have almost been Devin Hester-like versus those very same Chicago Bears to which the Hall of Fame Devin Hester played for. But Jalen Darden, he's only a rookie. He's getting time because AB's hurt. We get it. He's going to have to find his place in the pecking order. But, man, did he show today, especially with that behind-the-line quick flare-out pass, the yardage, 12, 13 yards, and that 47-yard punt return. That kid's got speed. That kid's got talent.
Yeah, he was pretty incredible. He absolutely was. Now, I do not have any information. I don't know if anybody else does on the injury to D. Delaney. If anybody heard anything about that, heard Arians talking about that or anything, please let me know, because I do not know what the injury was to D. Delaney. But good Lord.
I mean, it was the celebratory rowing. He probably So much of that going on today.
Yeah,
He probably did, like,
there was
something
too
to
much
the top
rowing.
here.
Yeah,
Come on, Dave, back me up on this, Dave. Right?
Absolutely.
gotta agree. Gotta agree.
I'm kidding. No,
Yeah.
hopefully we got it. But with the next man up mentality, the fact that you're also looking at a team, not only have they lost so many and keeping guys, let's go ahead and mention this again, because maybe we're in week 7 going into week 8. Maybe we don't mention this anymore. All the gang stayed here. They resigned the entire squad. 99.9% hasn't been done even close to it since the 70s like that. But now you're seeing also that Jason Light, general manager of the decade, he still put together a team. There were times they've looked lean if that pressure is not up front. But you get that pressure up front, and these guys are showing they're in the right place at the right time. Todd Bowles is teaching them up right. And this Buccaneers defense has got more depth than sometimes people want to give us. But it's all predicated upon that pressure up front.
Okay, I've got a little bit of news here. Cornerback D. Delaney, who did not finish the game due to an ankle injury, says he is fine. Okay,
good
that's very good news. That is very good news. Thank you, Keith. Keith, by the way, best wishes. Get feeling better. I know you had a rough day today. Thank you for the information. He also told me Jason Pierre-Paul says he's been playing with a fractured finger. Well,
don't even go there.
There's not a lot of question about which one it was.
Don't even go there, Rick. The first thing you were thinking
don't do it.
You
don't do it.
Couldn't
You
help
did
it. I
it.
couldn't help it.
You did it.
He was thinking phantom pain, and he wanted to make that joke. And you're like, Rick, you can't do that.
Can't do
Broke
that.
my finger. Oh, no.
We just did, Dave.
Jason Pierre-Paul says he's been playing with a fractured finger and a torn rotator cuff. He did not practice last week, but had a sack and a forced fumble. Bruce Arians told him just do what he needed to make it to Sunday. Okay.
Hey, again, can I interject here again? Just working it back to the mastery that is Jason Light, general manager of your Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Our first round pick is Joe Tryon-Shoyinka out of Washington State, who happens to play the position that an injured JPP is there. You talk about making the right moves, and guys, if you draft Mike Evans your first year, but you stinker out and you also draft Jameis Winston at number 1 overall. If you move up in the draft to take a Roberto Aguayo out of Florida State, because there could have been a real feel good story there, it didn't work. But you're talking about a track record now that Jason Light's showing over the last 10 years or 9 years, and now you're going, wow! And they drafted Joe Tryon.
That's easy for you to say. And now for our English speaking friends,
I'll have another one, please.
Yeah.
Anyway, you guys get me.
Yep. And by the way, Johnny Dean just brought up a very interesting stat. If this is true, that return was the longest punt in the league this year.
43 yards is it.
Wow.
So far. Entire year. 32 teams.
Very nice. Boy, you can see the speed on that guy. So that is pretty awesome.
He is number 1.
Bruce Arians said Jamel Dean is fine and we'll update more on him later, but that he's okay. So we don't have to worry about that.
We dodged 2 bullets then.
Did we talk about penalties, guys? Because going into this game
penalties. No penalty. There was only one on the Bucs.
Right. So we did. Did you guys talk about this already?
Yes,
because
we did.
Remember last year, that was the biggest. We had 5 penalties on one offensive drive. This year we're still up to near the top. After today, we're no longer at the top. We're still only 7 weeks in. I bet you we're down at number 5 or 6 or 7.
It's exactly what happened last year, Ray.
But later in the year, right?
All of a sudden, boom, the light switch flipped. And Dave Dave was not around for this, but it's a fact that I called it in the Falcons game last year.
You did.
And said the Bucs will not lose another game.
You did.
You were the only one. You were the sage, man. Because I was sitting there 7-5 down 17-0.
If you want to know how many things I get wrong, watch the Wednesday night show with me and Andrew where we're doing our picks, and he's kicking my butt. I'm not representing America well. Canada is kicking our butt in the international pick kerfuffle.
Hey, since we're talking about self-inflicted records, I just want to say, guys and girls, please go back and check out Cup of Ray After Dark, that risque Cup of Ray on Friday night. But then again today on my Cup of Ray this morning from over at Raymond James Stadium, I said take the Bears, lay the points. 13 isn't enough. This team wins running away.
Nice.
And hey, even a blind squirrel finds an acorn, but when this blind squirrel finds one, I'm going to call it. That's right.
Yep. That's the same thing, Ray. I said it on Wednesday night on Against the Spread. As I said, guys, this is it's the matchup. It's a perfect matchup for the Bucs. It really is. Chicago's strengths play into our strengths, and their weaknesses we will expose big time. So
Yes.
yeah, and that's how that went down, and it's fun. It's fun. Games like this are fun. I'm not used to them. I don't know how to deal with them. Even blowouts in the Super Bowl, there's tension because it's the Super Bowl. And if you've been a Bucs fan for any length of time, like I said, there were 2 minutes left in the game, and the Bucs were up like whatever it was, 31-9, and I was still sitting there going, "What's going to happen? What's going to happen? What's going to happen?"
Yeah, you're pulling your shoes off. You're using your toes and your fingers. You're trying to figure out the scenario.
Right. And but today, I mean, from kickoff, when I remember hearing this is fact, when they took the opening kickoff, I remember going, the Bears won and took the opening kickoff.
Hey, you know,
okay.
Yeah, but and I want to make a point, Rick. Let's go ahead and put a little myth to bed. And I'm going to go on a limb here. I haven't looked at the numbers on this, although the research is there. I usually do all my research. But you're talking about the Buccaneers and their history of losses against first-year quarterbacks. You're talking about Anderson with the Panthers and other teams. But you're talking about first-year, like a Heineke with Washington football team, even though we beat them in the playoffs. But you're talking about some of the history. I want to go back and find out how many of those quarterbacks that the Buccaneers lost to as rookies were top 5 draft picks, which means they're on a team that completely sucks, is decimated, doesn't have an offensive line like Chicago. Because if you put Justin Fields on a team like Indianapolis Colts that has an offensive line with Quentin Nelson coming back and a running game and a Ty Hilton and a Michael Pittman Jr., that would give this kid a lot better of a chance. But Rick, the reason why I thought about that is because you talked about it on Wednesday, and I did this weekend that we saw it. It was a perfect storm for the Buccaneers to get fed today, and man, did they eat. Yeah,
and the thing is this, we brought this up earlier. Tom Brady doesn't lose to rookie quarterbacks. And that's what's different is now you're playing a quarterback. The last rookie he lost to was Geno Smith. I believe it was 8 years ago or something like that. 2013, I think, was the last time Tom Brady lost to a rookie quarterback. I mean, he just doesn't lose to rookies. And
he just doesn't lose.
But Rick, you texted me in the third quarter. You want to go ahead and tell our watchers out there that text you sent me? What was the crux of that text, that message you sent me, brother?
I got to go back and look.
I'll tell you what it was. I can remind you. It was something about the Buccaneers quarterback.
Just remind me. Tell me what
you said. Because we're up 35 points, and you said, "Can we not just get Tom Brady out of the game now? Can we not just? Can we get Blaine Gabbert in there for a drive?
Please get Brady out." I think that's what I said. Yeah.
And here's the thing, guys. When Tom Brady signs last year in March, literally during a pandemic, the world was in a pandemic, but Buccaneers fans were doing an Irish jig on the top of the tables at Irish 31 over here. And no, I'm kidding, because it was still a pandemic, but we just signed Tom Brady. Did he get personnel decisions? Did he get final say on, is he calling the offense? I don't know about any of that. I think Byron Leftwich is calling the offense. Bruce Arians designed it. Tom Brady is running it. But I think Tom Brady says, I don't come out of the game, and by golly, the Bucs have to respect that.
I don't want to give him that ability. Hold on, we got a caller, Matt Colson. Matt from OKC. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing good. Okay, can you hear me good?
Yes, sir.
All right. I just wanted to say one thing.
Yep.
We need to go down to the nearest trophy shop there in Tampa somewhere and buy a 24-inch rope chain like Run DMC. And put a big 5 or 6 inch L on it as a medallion.
Yeah.
Carry it down there to the Saints on Halloween night, and when Jameis gets on the sideline, we just hand it to him at the end of the game and make him wear it.
Actually,
and
what'd be awesome is just give him a bowl full of L's. Like buy a whole bunch of.
I'll tell you what, though. I think he takes that bet. We hand him that rope chain with the L on it. But the other side of that, Matt, is, and I don't think this happens, but the other side is, if for some reason Sean Payton and those evil Saints pull out some kind of magic, which I don't see happening, Tom Brady has to eat a W. So that's your trade-off. JW will wear the L off the field, but if those Saints do come up, and trust me, if the Saints beat the Bucs next week, I have a feeling it'll be a lot more of Taysom Hill than it is Jameis Winston.
Yeah,
just saying.
I agree.
He's still got a melon head though. He's in the concussion protocol now.
Oh wait, melon head. Okay, I thought you were making fun of Jameis's general size.
Somebody hit him with a big stick.
Oh, that was kind of mean.
Because I have a melon
head.
He's
bruised, man. He's a cantaloupe. He's all bruised. Okay.
Oh.
Yeah.
So
You're talking about Taysom Hill, right?
right.
Yeah, but I mean, he probably won't play a lot tomorrow. I think tomorrow, the good thing we are, by the way, we're getting the Saints off of a short week. So that's good.
And they're traveling across the country, which makes it almost a double edged.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
They're going all the way out to
that
Seattle,
part's
so.
good. They're playing Monday night, and then they've got the game they got to turn around on Sunday. But
It's going to be a huge party. It's in New Orleans, though, on Halloween. That's going to be a crowd you're going to have to contend with.
Man.
It's going to be nuts.
That'll be fun.
Absolutely crazy.
Yeah,
Hey, I
I'm
told
worried
you
about
guys,
Brady with crowds.
I go to New Orleans. My wife and I leave after Thanksgiving dinner in 2002. We get right on the road, literally from my aunt and uncle's house after Thanksgiving. We drive the 11 hours, get into New Orleans. That next Saturday night was the classic they play every year between Grambling and then Florida Southern or what have you. I think they were playing that year. But then that Sunday night, it was a Sunday night nationally televised game. Our first year in the NFC South, the Bucs were playing at New Orleans, and my wife and I were there on the 50, 10 rows up. And let me tell you guys what. First of all, the Saints do travel, but they are some ugly fans too. So let's just get that right out of the way. They are. I mean, really, they look like, as if maybe there's some type of experiments going on over at the military base there in whatever it is there in New Orleans. But I'm kidding. But
pool.
they were nasty, right? And they owned us because they beat us that game. But we got scoreboard because at the end of that season, we were raising the Lombardi Trophy for the team's first Super Bowl victory. But I'm sorry to cut you off, but that was so I'm telling you what, Matt, you're right. I would love to be in New Orleans this week because something tells me it ain't going to be like 2002. We're going to win this week and we're going to win at the end of the season.
Yeah.
There's going to be so many whistleheads in that crowd and all that other junk they put on. It would be an adventure just to go and watch the people. I mean, let the game do its own thing, but just to meet the people that are in there, that's going to be a crazy environment. I wish I could go. That would be a lot of fun.
By the way, got a stat for you guys.
Ooh.
Okay.
Offensive linebacker Shaquille Barrett records his second strip sack of the season and his 10th since joining the Buccaneers in 2019.
Wow.
The fumble was recovered by nose tackle Vita Vea for the first of his career. Barrett's 10 strip sacks since 2019 are the most in the NFL.
That's why your guy makes $72 million over 4 or 5 years if it's paid out to true fruition, because the Bucs and again I keep saying I sound like I'm just like you are. You're a Tom Brady homer, Rick. I'm kidding, but I'm a Jason Light homer.
Yes,
Jason Light signs. I'll be honest, you guys remember, Rick, and go back and pull the tape here at Bucs Report. I was not in favor of franchising Barrett. I thought that he was good, but I thought it was more a product of the system. We had JPP, we had Vita Vea, we had a defense that was coming together. But Lord knows, I am so glad 7 days a week and twice on Victory Sunday. I was wrong, but he gives him the big contract, and that's right there, that stat you just said,
I had
Rick.
no idea we could get everybody back. At that point, you remember the question that we kept asking was, which two do you keep?
Right.
That was the question we kept asking. We didn't know. We never fathomed. It wasn't even possible to dream about or think about, okay, we're going to keep everybody. So, you weren't wrong. You were given an unfair question. Okay.
Bruce.
Something else Shaq is good at apparently is forward fumbling to the other defensive player.
What was that all about? Okay.
That should have been a flag. It should have been stopped right there. And he flipped that ball out.
Yeah. Well, no, it shouldn't have been a flag. It's just you don't advance the fumble, and that's what they did. But
well, either way,
you
whether it's a flag or they just stopped the play, it shouldn't have gone.
From Adam
15 yards
Schefter.
more.
From Adam Schefter on Twitter, no signs of slowdown. Tom Brady, who has 203 completions and 21 touchdown passes this season, became the third player in NFL history with at least 200 completions and 20 TD passes in his team's first 7 games, joining Andrew Luck in 2018 and Peyton Manning in 2013.
That's a pretty good list. Let's move it up.
It's hard to believe that the guy that's been in the league that long just now got that record.
Well, it's just funny.
Just crazy.
Well, it's funny. I mean, he's one of 3 who have done it. And the thing that I think is so amazing about it is the first line that Adam Schefter writes. He wrote, "No signs of slowdown." The thing is this, guys, you remember the conversation beginning of last year? Yeah, Brady doesn't have the arm anymore. Brady's got, his arm is weak. He's not what he used to be. He's, blah, blah, blah. He's a shadow of what he used to be. Maybe the Bucs can get 1, maybe 2 years out of him, now,
Did you see
now the
that pass
Chiefs-
that he threw down the sideline to that Brady threw down the sideline to Mike Evans?
Yeah.
That he got down to the 2?
Yeah, it was beautiful.
Mike Evans didn't catch that ball. That ball hit him on the 13, and it hit his arm was underneath it. He didn't physically catch it.
Yeah,
He was like, "Damn, he put that number on me, man.
Yeah,
I can't believe it."
Yeah, the ball caught him.
Yeah, that was beautiful. Jameis could never do that.
No.
I don't
care
think
what any of you guys say they're Jameis.
Have we mentioned that
Jameis
Tom
could not do that ever?
I agree. What, Dave?
that Tom Brady has now tied Drew Brees with the most 4 touchdown games with 37?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like the Brady record of the week. I mean,
Yeah, that's the thing. Okay, yeah, I mean,
and he threw for 600
okay.
yards, 600 passing
touchdowns.
TD today.
Yeah, now he's done this. Now I mean, so one more game like that, one more four touchdown game.
So I restate, my player of the game is Tom Brady.
Okay, simmer down, Sparky. You got it. Okay. Thanks for calling, Matt. Matt is part of the Miscreants. They are on Saturday night at 9:00 right here. Miscreant Mayhem on Bucs Report.
Great day.
All right, guys. You have a good night.
Thanks, brother.
Have a great one.
Awesome. Good call. Thank you, Matt. Yeah, Dave. I mean, when you look at that, when you watch all the records like that, when every week it's another one. Every week it's like, oh, okay, what's he doing this week? I mean, what do you think?
Well, I mean, for a normal human being and a football player, it's usually if you're breaking records, you're at the end of the road. That's what makes it so spectacular, is that going back, not before the last game, I think it was, he had statistically speaking, his best 4-game group of games as far as touchdowns and passing yards go. This is not like he's eking his way to the end like Peyton Manning did, right, and they won a Super Bowl in spite of him, not because of. He's sitting there breaking records that you would think young guys would be doing. That's what's just so spectacular about it.
I agree, Dave, and I think that your point is exactly correct. And that I brought this up, I think it was on Tuesday's show, or it might have been Wednesday, where that I brought up how, Manning did this. You know, he went to another team and won a Super Bowl, and that was great. But he was a shadow of what he used to be. He had the injured neck. Couldn't throw like he could previously, and he was, they got there only because of the defense.
Right.
Guys, that's not the case here. Now you can say that, sure, the Bucs won the Super Bowl because of the defense last year. Okay. But they still put up 31 points.
Yeah, they did. And Manning was just, don't make mistakes and let Von Miller go crazy. I mean, that was the strategy. And it worked. Yeah. I mean,
and now but I mean, look, guys, this is special. Okay. I mean, this really is a special team. It's not like any other team the NFL's ever seen. I don't think the NFL knows what to do with this, because it's like next level cheat on a video game kind of a thing, where, I mean, it's
how many times has Evans restructured his deal? I mean,
Mike Evans is now he's paying the Buccaneers to play for him, I think. I mean, it's just bizarre how they've worked all of this out. And Evans is like, you know what? I got enough money. I just want to go play and win. And it's like, wow. I mean, you got to love that guy. As Bucs fans, that guy, let's just put him in the Ring of Honor now.
Well, think about it. Mike Evans has only been to the playoffs. Well, once. I mean, they won 10 games but didn't make the playoffs in I think 2016.
He's been to the playoffs one time.
But he's only been once in his whole career. That's what these guys are hungry.
Yeah.
Levante David, one time he's been in the playoffs. Once. That's it.
Yeah. And they interviewed Mike Evans after a game, and they were in the locker room, and they had just lost some disappointing game. And they were like, how are you feeling? What's going on? How are you feeling about this and all that? And I remember Evans just going, look around here. I just want to see these guys in the locker room here with me. I just want to see these guys with smiles on their faces. I want to see it. I want to see them know what it's like to win. And it was like, it cares that much about the team. I mean, that's just awesome.
I mean, that's like now they're having
Lane from ESPN just said Tom Brady on the fan giving him back the ball for his 600th TD pass. he's going to get something nice in return. Okay. So, I am sure Brady's going to take care of that dude.
He'll be okay.
Yeah, he'll be all right.
He'll be okay. It's okay. He's glad he went to the game.
Yeah. Johnny Dean just said this right. He said Todd Bowles had Fields confused all day long, and that is absolutely correct. He did. He had him confused. He just it was brutal. Drew Pagona says, I was proud of our secondary tonight. I know our D line got pressure, but the secondary's communication was on point and getting the picks when the play was there. We will be scary when healthy on defense. That's what I think, Drew. Drew, you and I are on the same page. We're doing this now. We're 6-1 now. Wait till we get back Gronk and all those defensive players.
We're 6-1 with one hand tied behind our back.
That's easy for you to say. Yes.
Yeah.
No, I mean it's wow. I mean it really is just, man. We're 6-1 and everybody's hurt. Even players that are playing hurt. I mean, we get healthy after that bye week. We get healthy.
You just terrorized Justin Fields without Levante David in your lineup.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, think
about it. Not even
it.
Suited up.
Yeah. Levante's going to be back. Sean Murphy Bunting will be back. Rob Gronkowski. Think if you added Gronk to today's game. I mean, what's coming is fun, guys. It's fun.
We need AB back because I want 3 1,000-yard receivers.
Yeah. Well, I forgot. AB wasn't there today.
Yeah. So I want him back. I want 3 1,000-yard receivers. 3.
Picture a team, any team who has, let's say, Gronk and AB on that team, and both of them are out. You're thinking, oh man, that offense is decimated. The Bucs lose Gronk and AB, and you're like, oh yeah, I forgot they're out, aren't they? I mean, I forgot A freaking B was out today. So was Rob Gronkowski. We hung up 38 on the Bears.
2 future Hall of Famers.
The team that literally is the best at sacking the opposing quarterback. And nobody came close to Tom Brady. So, I mean, guys, oof. I mean, this is fun. This is fun. Dave, any room like around the NFL? Any big news? Anything you want to talk about? Is there anything that you think is worthy of pointing out?
Well, we covered the Cincinnati Bengals are for real, by the way. They went into Baltimore and laid 41 points on them, beat them 41-17. Cardinals remain undefeated. I'm still not sold on them. I mean, it kind of goes back to if you've got healthy Bucs up and down on offense and defense, you're the favorite.
But how are you not sold on the Cardinals, but you're sold on the Bengals? The Bengals who constantly disappoint. Okay, they beat the Ravens, but the Ravens are known to lose to a team every now and again, put up a flat game. And
Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow, they already have a special relationship, and I think they're for real. This isn't an illusion. It's not a mirage. They're for real, and they're going to be there at the end of the season. They're going to make it the playoffs, and they're going to make some noise.
Well, I definitely think they're going to make the playoffs. I don't think that's much of a doubt.
Okay, and I got family in Southwest Ohio too. All right, I'll confess.
They're gonna go in to the playoffs, and they're gonna lose to it's just some team that you're like, really? That they'll lose to. I don't know. There's some random team that's, they also make the playoffs, but you're not thinking much about that. That just seems very Cincinnati to me. Maybe times are different.
And they invested a lot in free agency on the defensive side of the ball too. I mean, it's coming together for Cincinnati. Yeah. And it's not like they've been eking out wins that they should be. They're playing very well. And again, they went into Baltimore, who has a pretty solid defense to say the least, and they put 41 on them.
Oh yeah. Well, no, they had a very good day today. There's that. I'm not trying to say they did not have a good day today. They obviously had a good they obviously had a good day today. Let's not, I mean, they did lose to the Packers. I mean, they barely beat the Jaguars. It's just hard for me to look at them and go, "Oh wow, these are just an awesome team." I'm not saying they're not good. The Bengals lost to the Bears.
That was early in the season. I'm not saying they're a Super Bowl favorite. What I'm saying is
beat the Jaguars. They lost to the Bears. Okay?
They just put 41 on the Ravens in Baltimore.
Yes, they're
leading their division.
Illustrating my point beautifully about the Bengals.
They're leading their division, but there's a progression. There's progression between Chase and between Burrow that's developing very rapidly, and it's very bad news for the rest of the NFL.
I think what you're saying is accurate there, but I just get the feeling they're going to make the playoffs and be the Bengals. I mean, they'll win a game maybe in the playoffs at most, and then not even show up the following week. They're going to, if the Titans make the Super Bowl, the Titans will just like crush them, and you'll be like, what just happened? I mean, Joe Burrow.
I'll say this. Joe Burrow is no Andy Dalton.
Okay. Okay.
He can be a franchise quarterback. Andy Dalton was not. When they lost all those first-round games.
Joe Burrow looks very good in his second year. A lot of quarterbacks have looked good in their second year. And
well, it's still his first because of his injury, in a way.
It's his second year. Okay. Point taken. Yeah, he got hurt, but they're still the Bengals, and he's gonna. All I can tell you is this: what the Cardinals are doing, you could see coming a mile away. We started talking about it last year here on Bucs Report. There were multiple of us, Johnny, Dean, and I, going on and on about how we think the Cardinals are set up to be a very good team, and they've gotten better. And that was last year compared to this year. Johnny and I were a year ahead on that one. Now, guys, I think the Cardinals, here's where things can change. That's the kind of thing a quarterback like that can get his butt kicked. Okay. You're not sure about that. Ask Patrick Mahomes. Okay. You get a defense that catches up to him in one game. He takes a couple of serious shots and everything changes. So yes, we'll wait and see, but the Cardinals are not going to be an easy out, and mark my words, they're not going undefeated, but they're not going to be an easy out. The Rams, depends on what week you catch them. They have not looked that good lately. I think now teams have tape on the Matt Stafford Rams, and
they peaked against the Bucs. That was their best. They peaked against the Bucs.
Well, because nobody knew what to expect. Really, they were still brand new. Guys, around here we like to do something every week that is it's a little bit of fun. Now, David's handle on Twitter and on Facebook is David W Says, and David sits here and lets me prattle on for most of the show, but we take a couple of minutes here and we find out what David has to say. What does David W say?
Well, David has to say this week, I think back to Brady against Belichick earlier in the year, and I was wondering, Super Bowl winning quarterbacks against their former coach, how many times has this happened? And I found an article by Greg Allman in The Athletic that discussed this very matter. And I will say the most recent one was week 4, 2021. Tom Brady squared off against his former coach, Bill Belichick, 6 Super Bowls, 10 Super Bowls they played in, and Tampa Bay won 19-70 in that high-profile nationally televised game. However, there are 6 others where this has occurred, and the one that was most frequent was Brett Favre and Mike Holmgren. The Packers won Super Bowl 31 against New England after the 1996 season. And Holmgren and Favre, that was their 5th year in Green Bay. However, Holmgren finished his coaching career after a 10-year stint with the Seahawks from 1999 to 2008. Favre started against his former coach 7 times with the Packers and the Jets, and he went 4-3 against his former coach that included 2 playoff wins. Another pairing, Troy Aikman and Jimmy Johnson. Troy and Jimmy won back-to-back Super Bowls in 27 and 20, Super Bowls 27 and 28. Aikman also won Super Bowl 30 with Barry Switzer as coach. However, when Jimmy Johnson coached the Dolphins from 96 to 99, he met up with Troy Aikman twice. Dallas and Aikman won both meetings, the first one in 96 and the second in 1999. Also making the list, Joe Montana and George Seifert. Joe Montana won 3 Super Bowls with Bill Walsh as his head coach, but his last championship in Super Bowl 24 was with George Seifert. Montana started against Seifert in Kansas City in 1994 and came away with a 24-17 win with 2 touchdowns. Now, these others you got to dig a little bit for, but Jeff Hostetler and Bill Parcells. Hostetler took over for an injured Phil Simms and led the Giants to a Super Bowl 25 win over the Bills. In 1994, when Hostetler was quarterback with the Raiders and Bill Parcells was coaching the Patriots, the two met up again. This time, the Raiders came away with a 21-17 win over New England. Going down the list, number what are we up to? Number 6, Trent Dilfer and Brian Billick. Dilfer played 1 year in Baltimore for Brian Billick, but it was a good one. Dilfer took over for Tony Banks midseason and quarterbacked the Ravens to a 34-7 Super Bowl 35 win over the Giants. In 2005, Dilfer's only season with the Browns, the Ravens handed Cleveland a 16-3 defeat. And again in 2007, Dilfer was the quarterback in San Francisco when the Ravens downed the Niners. This was Dilfer's last season in the NFL. Then number 7 on the list, it should sound familiar, Brad Johnson and John Gruden. Brad Johnson was the quarterback that led the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to their first championship and Super Bowl 37 win over the Oakland Raiders 48-21. In 2008, Gruden's last season in Tampa, Brad Johnson started 3 games at quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys. One of those 3 games was against Tampa and his former coach. Johnson passed for the only touchdown in the game, resulting in a 13-9 Cowboys win. So I thought that was some fun Super Bowl stats on a fun day for the Bucs thrashing the Bears. And at the end of the day, David W. says championship quality windows are short and the NFL is a business. Enjoy the championship windows as fortunes can change very quickly.
That's exactly correct. Absolutely. Very nice. David W. says you can get him at David W. Says on Facebook and at David W. Says on Twitter. Guys, speaking, Greg Auman, speaking of Greg Auman just tweeted out an interesting statistic. Now, first of all, let me say this. In 2014 and 2016, Mike Evans set the record for Buccaneers wide receivers by catching 12 touchdown passes. Last year, he broke that record and caught 13. So it means he has the record of 13 and 12 twice, all of which are the record. Right now, he is at okay.
Is it who I think it is?
How about you wait till I start talking to you because I'm in the middle of talking. Okay.
Oh, pardon me.
Good Lord, the jackass Giants fan is back and he's running his mouth before I even say hello. So hold on.
You hang on, you got your skirt on yet?
Mike Evans has 7 touchdown passes or 7 touchdown catches now through 7 games, putting on pace for 17. Previously, the record for the Bucs was 13. That's pretty crazy. Now, Giants fan, the first thing I want to say to you is thank you. Thank you for beating yet another NFC South team. You're doing us some major favors. Thank you. I'm sure you're proud. Go ahead and brag.
You're done.
I'm
allowed to speak now.
You're tempting me to hang up.
I gotcha. Okay, so
what does this button do?
I'm going to brag for a few. Okay, just a few. They did look good today. I do look forward to the assassination, which will take place. I mean, this is going to be catastrophic. 4 weeks away from today. Jones finally is looking the way he's supposed to. I don't know if you saw the highlights or not. Phenomenal catch on a quarterback option. Runs through that defensive. Saquon's going to be back. You guys don't have a shot.
Don't have a shot. Don't even have a shot.
I mean, let's be serious, okay? I breezed through your win over a mediocre team today, and I do want to say something in conjunction with what you were talking about. Your division, it's really bad. I mean, your schedule is a joke.
Oh, I agree. Our schedule is easy. You're correct. We are playing your division. We are playing your division. So yeah, you're right.
Hang on. You are playing my division, and you get to play your division twice.
Yeah.
But as in all seriousness, you had one tough team, and you lost. You barely beat the Cowboys. You barely beat the Patriots. You barely beat the Eagles. You got one good game left in your schedule, well, two after you lose to us. The other game was the Bills. So you're going to calculate 13-3?
So I got a question. You're saying we beat a mediocre team and our division sucks, and you beat somebody in our division. So that means
that's exactly my point. So here's the thing: we held the Panthers to 3 points. How are you going to do it better?
We took the team that literally is the highest, has the most sacks of any team in the NFL, and they didn't come close to Brady, and we only let them score 3 points. We beat the crap out of them. You beat the Panthers. You beat, I mean, really, seriously? You're bragging?
Hang on. What's the Bears' record?
I don't know. You
3-4.
Y'all suck, so I don't know.
3-4.
Whatever. But if I'm not mistaken, I do not know this. This is straight up. I do not know this. I believe that the Bears are 3-4 at this point.
I believe so.
Yes, they are. They are 3-4.
Okay, and I believe the Panthers are 3-4.
Yes.
Yes, they are.
So today, each of our defenses gave up 3 points to mediocre teams.
Yes.
So in other words, we might actually have a friendship going here.
No, I you know what, Billy, I completely I completely agree with you about.
So what you're saying? We're equal.
Absolutely. What'd you say, Dave?
So we're equal. We both gave up 3 points to NFC to our
crappy teams.
Yes.
So we're equal. We're on equal terms, right? Is that what you're saying, Billy?
Yeah.
We're just
on equal
as good
terms
as the
now
Bucs
until the 22nd of November.
In which case we have no shot at winning. I wish there was some kind of a friendly bet we could get going here, and we've got to work on that. But we got a few weeks here, but there's got to be some sort of friendly bet that we can.
We'll figure something out. But remember, amongst all your other viewers, you stopped asking me a few weeks ago where I am, and I'm still at parts unknown. But we'll figure something out. I could live down the street from you. I could live 3,000 miles away.
Yeah,
who knows?
It doesn't stop us from having some sort of a friendly bet.
Hey, what's that behind you, Rick?
Sing you got to learn and sing the Bucs fight song, or I have to learn and sing the Giants fight song. There's something we can do here.
Listen, in all of your Majesty's greatness, I don't want you to lose listenership by my singing. So I don't think that's going to be the answer to the question.
Oh, we wouldn't lose any
I know
viewers.
you're about to wrap up your show. I'm going to let you go. Let you up easy this week. And we'll talk next week.
Hey, listen, again, sir, to the Jackass Giants fan, thank you for calling. I look forward to this call. Take care.
Bye.
I actually like it when he calls. I look forward to that.
Hey, you gave up 3 points. We gave up 3 points. Hey!
I just love it. We have no shot at beating them. None.
Daniel Jones is just a legend already.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, you guys play a crappy schedule. Yes, your division.
Who do you want us to beat? I mean,
that was. Could you tee me up any better? I mean, that would really. Did you just say that? I mean, you just made that about as easy as could possibly happen. So, I don't know. I mean, thanks for teeing me up there. But anyway, it was good. That was good that he called. I'm glad he called. I was thinking he wasn't going to call tonight.
Oh, he was going to call. They won 25-3. He's calling.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen often.
Me. I was expecting to hear. I figured this was, like we'd come on the air and he'd be right there waiting. That's pretty much what I figured. But anyway, it's all good. It's been fun, man. It has been fun. Let's close this out with surprises and disappointments. For me, surprise is the offensive line. They didn't just have a good game. They didn't. I mean, they took whatever dominate. What's the next level past domination? I mean, they absolutely ate the Bears for lunch. They embarrassed them, and it was ugly. So my surprise is my surprise, which is, this is the positive part of things. I'm surprised that the offensive line was that dominant, and I'm happy that the defensive line, although I'm not that surprised about that. What about you? What's a surprise?
Well, yeah, I was surprised as well. The Bears leading the league in sacks, and Brady was back there eating a sandwich all day. I mean, it wasn't even close. He never felt pressure. He just dropped back and did his thing. I mean, it wasn't even close. It was pitch and catch all day long.
Yeah.
And yes, he should not be given the ball at the goal line. I agree, but I was surprised at how hard Ronald Jones was running. I haven't seen that in him since the season started, and I thought it was a positive that he was running. He was running hard.
Yeah, he had huge, giant, gaping holes that.
When he made contact, he kept the legs going and he put effort in. I hadn't seen him put effort in before today.
What now? Disappointments for me. Disappointment is Ronald Jones, and I mean, at the point of first contact, he's done. I mean, that's the case. You say he ran hard. Yes, he ran right. He ran very hard into another player and went nowhere. So if I'm disappointed in anything, I'm disappointed that Ronald Jones is that bad on the goal line consistently. I'm also disappointed in more injuries, but it looks like they're not bad, so I'm okay with that.
Well, I'm really reaching for a disappointment, but I really wanted Brady to get 5 touchdowns and he didn't get it.
Okay, I'll go with that.
I thought he should have had 5.
Yeah, I'll go with that.
And Suckup did miss a 43-yard field goal, and I don't like when the kicker misses a 43-yard field goal.
No, that's a good point. I will say this, and this happened last year as well. Whenever Suckup misses, it's like it's a completely irrelevant kick. That he did that last year too, and it's one thing I noticed is it's like, that if you're gonna miss a kick, now's the time. So, if you're gonna miss a certain percentage, you're a numbers guy, Dave. You're a numbers guy. To get to your percentage where you miss some, now's the time. Do it now. Do it now. Now's the time.
It still makes me uncomfortable, and it was disappointing. So,
all right.
Like I said, I'm reaching for disappointment.
Yeah,
Brady didn't get 5.
It's hard. Yeah, it's hard. I'm disappointed in the play calling also on fourth down. I just don't think we're good at play calling on fourth down. But I don't know, guys. There is football that is on now. So go and pour yourself a cold one and watch. I forgot what game is tonight. But I will be joining you shortly watching that game. And tomorrow night's game, we all got to watch, guys, because tomorrow night is tomorrow night is the Saints, and we got them next week. And I cannot wait until Tuesday's show. Please be there and talk to me on Buck AF on Tuesday night. Buck AF, if you are Buck as, you know what the F stands for. Please join me Tuesday night at 8:30 p.m. We will have a Saints fan. Somebody, those of you who have been around for a while, we got to get a hold of Brian. Everybody start to hit up Brian on Facebook. Because we got to get that Saints fan back around, because he's atrocious and a disaster of a human being. And that's exactly what I want to represent the Saints.
Well, I can help you with tonight's game and why it was forgettable. It's the 2-4 Colts at the 2-3 Niners, and it's 12-7 San Francisco with 2:27 to go in the first.
Yeah, all right. Yes, that's why I forgot. But yeah, it's football, and who doesn't like watching football? So let's go watch some football. But even better than that, guys, there's more Bucs talk. There's more Bucs talk. Shortly, I believe Mr. Andrew Faubert is going to be here live from the cheap seats. He's going to be here live from the cheap seats with Andrew Faubert. We'll be here shortly to talk to all of you guys and take you to bring it home with all of his shenanigans and craziness and great information. And he's also my partner on Wednesday nights on Against the Spread. Guys, it's been fun. It's been a fun night. It was a fun day. This was a fun game. It's really hard to not enjoy a game like this and just have a completely stress-free day of football. And that's really what it was like. It really was stress-free. I mean, this was good. This was good. Guys, thanks for being here. Dave, thank you for being here.
Thank you.
I will see you on Tuesday, Dave.
Tuesday.
All right. And guys,
Saints
thanks
next
a
week.
lot. What's that?
Saints next week.
Saints
4:25
next
kickoff
week.
on Sunday.
That's right. Abso-freaking-lutely.
The Jameis
So-
Bowl.
Guys, from me and Dave, one thing left to say: go Bucs, go Bucs, go Bucs.
Got a bomb,